Our next guest is a former colleague of mine and the author of a brand new book out this month. It's called The Stakes: America at the Point of No Return. He talks about why the 2020 election is more meaningful and important than any election in the last 100 years. Joining us now is former senior national security officer and author Michael Anton. Michael, welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, congrats on the book. Look, I've been doing this a while. Every election, we try to tell voters this one's the most important. It's
Yeah.
consequential. Tell me why this election is, as you say, the most important in over 100 years.
Well, the events of 2020 pretty much prove that as far as I'm concerned. I thought this election was extremely important before lockdowns, before riots, before all the madness that's gripped the country the last several months. But those things have made it even more important. And it's very clear that President Trump stands for law and order. He stands for reopening the economy. He stands for getting America back to normal as quickly as possible, as much as possible. Joe Biden has made it very clear he's condemned violence in a half-hearted way. He won't say the names of Antifa or BLM or any of these other street militia types that are out there burning American cities every night. And he has said openly that he's prepared to shut down the whole country in January if he becomes the president. I think both of those things are disasters. Those are reasons enough to think that this is the most important election in our lifetime. But beyond that, my biggest fear is that if the Democrats were to win, it's the same fear that I had in 2016, that they would stack the deck so much, for instance, with a mass amnesty, tipping purple states blue and so on, that the Republicans' electoral path would be permanently locked out. That's my biggest fear.
Michael, a lot of people know you from your iconic 2016 essay called The Flight 93 Election, in which you said in it, quote, that 2016 is the Flight 93 election. Charge the cockpit or you die, using the events of 9/11 as an analogy.
Yeah.
And you were really, really spot on with the conservative movement and the political Republican establishment here, and then what the base was looking for then. So what is your prediction for 2020? Do you think the president's going to win? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, which should make everybody nervous because I'm not a very good political prognosticator. So
No.
I think he's going to win. And I think these last few weeks and months and also the Biden team's response and Biden's response has been weak. I think the former vice president has shown weakness. He's shown that he's reactive. He's shown that he will not take on the most radical elements of his own party. And I mean, these are radical elements that are literally burning America down at this point. And so I'm confident when I see all of these states tighten, when I see that Minnesota is in play, it makes me quite confident that the president's going to win. I'm nervous, though, about some of the things that I've been reading and hearing from Democrats talking about ballot harvesting. And, there was a story just the other day that I read where somebody explaining exactly how you do voter fraud with mail-in voting. He was just giving you a step-by-step. So I'm quite worried about that. But I do think the mood of the American people is such that the president, if there's a fair vote, the president's going to win.
Michael, you make a really compelling case as to what's at stake, right? All of this push towards socialism is at stake in this election. The president, however, has made his message centered around this idea of law and order. Is that what you think the most effective messaging is as we head into the final 60 days? Or should he really tweak the message to focus more on this creep to the left that we might not be able to get back from if we go down this path?
I mean, he's a terrific messenger, and he can, more than anybody I know, focus on more than one message, but also tie them together. I know that a lot of people criticized his convention speech. Maybe it was a bit long. I got to say, though, I enjoyed it. I liked it. I think he hit all the right messages. But to me, the best speech of the year so far was the Mount Rushmore speech. That's the speech that really ties together all the messages that he needs to get across to the American people. It has a positive vision for America. It has a positive vision of what Trumpism is, what his political and policy program is. And it also gives very stark, clear warnings about what will happen if Joe Biden takes power. Because Joe Biden, let's be honest, really won't be in power. It's going to be all the radicals that he has around him that are in power. And the president is able to convey that message well.
Michael, like Sean said at the top of the show, you were his colleague in the White House. You were in the National Security Council. Now, so I have a question about staffing there. You know, the president's often alluded to those in the administration who have been against his policies, the Trumpism you were just talking about. So have they been able, the administration been able to finally clear out those Obama holdovers who fomented the Ukraine impeachment hoax?
Yeah. I think they've mostly gotten them off of the staff of the National Security Council. The big problem with the National Security Council, which I've written about, and I'm happy to repeat the point because I think it's important, is they give it such a small budget that it doesn't matter who the president is. He doesn't have enough money to hire people who are loyal to him and to his vision. So by design, every president has to end up borrowing people from the federal bureaucracy, from the military, from the intelligence services, and so on the assumption that, well, they're all nonpartisan civil servants. And many of them are, but as we saw up close, many of them aren't. A simple way to fix this would be to give the National Security Council a bigger budget. And it's not a lot of money, $100 or $200 million, and you could hire the 200 people that you need, or less, 150, whatever it is, to run foreign policy. And they could all be people who are loyal to the president, who know what his agenda is, who want to implement his agenda. Just do that, and you don't have to rely on holdovers or federal civil servants anymore. I mean, there will always be federal civil servants at the agencies, but there never seemed to me to be any compelling reason why the president's core foreign policy staff in his White House who work for him, he can't personally select.
A lot of sense to me. Michael, congrats on the book. That's awesome. Once again, the name of the book, The Stakes, America at the Point of No Return. Congratulations. Good luck with it. All right, next, we're going to talk to two Republican chairmen about some of the controversial data that has emerged coming up about the presidential election. Stay tuned.